In China, knowing how to address people is not a small detail. It can make you sound polite, experienced, and socially aware. But if you use the wrong title, you may sound awkward, old-fashioned, or even rude. So today, let's talk about how to address people in different industries in China. Number 1. The magic word, Laoshi. In Chinese, Laoshi literally means teacher, but in real life, it is much more flexible than that. Of course, you can call a school teacher Wang Laoshi or Li Laoshi, but nowadays, Laoshi is also widely used for doctors, artists, trainers, consultants, media workers, and even strangers when you want to sound respectful. For example, if you are in a hospital and you do not know the doctor's exact title, you can say, Laoshi, could you help me look at this report? In Chinese, that would be, Laoshi, mafin bao kanisa jigabaga. It sounds polite, safe, and natural. So when you are not sure what to call someone, Laoshi is often your safest choice. Number 2. The medical industry. In a hospital, ordinary doctors can be called Zhang Yisheng or Li Yisheng. In Chinese, that is, Zhang Yisheng, Li Yisheng. In northern China, people also often say Defu, which also means doctor. So Wang Defu or Li Defu are both okay. But if the doctor is a chief physician or associate chief physician, people often call them Jiren. Wang Jiren, could you look at my CT scan? In Chinese, Wang Jiren, mafin nin kanisa with a pienza. Here, Jiren does not always mean the person is literally the head of the whole department. In hospitals, it is often used as a respectful title for senior doctors. For nurses, you can say Husha, or more politely, nurse teacher, Husha Laoshi. For example, Husha Laoshi, 请问在哪里抽血? That means, Husha Laoshi, where do I get my blood drawn? It may sound strange in English, but in Chinese, it is quite natural. Number 3. Schools and education. In schools and universities, if someone has an administrative title, you usually address them by that title first. For example, Zhang Yunzhan, Li Jiren. If the person is a professor or associate professor, it is usually safe to call them Jiao Shou. Even if someone is technically an associate professor, in face-to-face conversation, calling them Chen Jiao Shou is usually more respectful than emphasizing the word associate. For ordinary teachers, simply say Wang Laoshi, Li Laoshi. This is simple, polite, and almost never wrong. Number 4. Government offices, public institutions, and bureaucracy. This is where Chinese social language becomes more delicate. In government-related settings, titles matter a lot. If someone is a bureau chief, call them Wang Jude or Wang Jujan. If someone is a division chief, call them Li Trujan or simply Li Tru. But here is a very important rule. In direct address, avoid emphasizing the word deputy. For example, if someone is a deputy bureau chief, technically their title may be Deputy Bureau Chief Wang. But when speaking to them directly, people often avoid saying deputy. Instead, they may simply say Wang Dui or Wang Chu. Why? Because adding deputy can sound like you're reminding everyone that this person is not the top leader. In official documents, use the exact title, but in face-to-face conversation, be tactful. At government service windows, such as a public service hall, a simple Nin Hao or Laoshi is usually enough. For example, Nin Hao, 我想咨询一下这个手续. That means, hello, I'd like to ask about this procedure. Number 5. Companies and business situations. In Chinese business culture, one of the most common titles is Don. Zone comes from words like general manager, director, or senior executive. In practice, many people in business are addressed as Wang Zone, Li Zone, Zhang Zone. Even if the person is not the CEO, Zone is often used as a respectful business title. For very senior people, such as a chairman or board director, you may hear Wang Dong, Li Dong. Dong comes from Dongchi, meaning director or board member, and Dongchi Zhan, meaning chairman. So in a business meeting, saying Wang Zon or Wang Don can sound much more natural than saying Mr. Wang. Number 6. Technicians, workers, drivers, and service workers. For drivers, repair workers, electricians, plumbers, decorators, and many skilled workers, the most useful word is Shifu. It literally means teacher, but in daily life, it is a very polite and practical title. For example, Shifu, could you stop here? Shifu, mafin jibber tingisa. For a repair worker, Shifa, can this be fixed? Shifa jiganon soma? For a decorator, Shifa, how long will the renovation take? Shifa dronso dake yao dozo? This word is extremely useful in China. If you live in China, remember it. Number 7, restaurants, shops, and daily life. In restaurants, you can simply say Nin Hao. That means hello. You can also say fu yan, meaning server or waiter, but be careful with your tone. If you shout fu yan loudly across the room, it may sound rude. A better way is Nin Hao, muffin jadern shui. Hello, could we have some more water? In small shops, markets, and restaurants, you can often call the owner Laoban, boss. For example, Laoban, 这个多少钱? Laoban, how much is this? This does not necessarily mean the person is actually the owner. It is just a friendly and practical way to address shop staff. And in daily life, if you do not know what to say, Nin Hao solves most problems. It is like saying excuse me or hello in English. Number 8, titles you should be careful with. Some Chinese forms of address are outdated, awkward, or risky. First, Saozi. In the past, Saozi meant miss. But in mainland China today, directly calling a woman Saozi may sound strange or even offensive because it can carry inappropriate associations. In Hong Kong, Taiwan, or older contexts, the feeling may be different, but in mainland China, avoid it in everyday speech. Instead, say Nin Hao, Laoshi, or simply start your sentence politely. Second, tondri. Tondri used to mean comrade, and it was very common in the past. Today, in ordinary daily life, it sounds old-fashioned. In some contexts, it may also have other associations. So unless you are in a very specific political, historical, or official setting, do not use it casually. Third, senshin. Senshin means Mr. It is not wrong, but in mainland daily speech, it often sounds a little formal, written, or service industry-like. You may hear it in hotels, banks, airports, or formal letters, but in many everyday situations, people prefer a job title, Laoshi, Shifa, or simply Nin Hao. So here is the final rule. If you know the person's title, use the title. If you do not know the title, say Laosha in professional settings, Shifa for drivers and skilled workers, and Nin Hao almost everywhere. In China, a good form of address is not just grammar, it is social intelligence.